Thanks for joining me. This lab session is entitled Building Complex Test Plans by Editing, but this is part 2 of the lab. I did not plan on it taking long as it did, but it has. I used a template named Building an Advanced Web Test Plan. Our remaining game plan is to review an updated version of the default, then run a couple of tests and review the results to become familiar with this complex script. Let's proceed with the lab looking at some test results. So you saw how to use the regular expression to locate the bug ID in the response data of the change page. So let's move on. I'm going to clear the search bar. We don't need that information now. Uncheck the regular expression. Now that's clean. We actually want to clear the results, the output. We don't need that anymore. We're going to get set up to run another round of tests, and we're going to correct the problem with the login. We're also going to make some other changes as well. So let's clear and start up a little higher here. I'd like to start right here. Now, let me show you the one we had running, and that one, if you remember, has the match number 0, which means random or randomize the bug values. So the occurrences that are there are several of them. It chose one and collected that value. Now we're going to add another one that I created. Just went here and did a duplicate, and then once we have a duplicate copy of that, I made one change to it, and that is to this value. It's now 1. So this will cause JMeter to look for the first occurrence for this regular expression extractor. So we want the first occurrence to populate the bug ID, whereas this one will continue to do a randomizing process. And we'll then be able to display that value and see it in the output. Then let's go ahead and enable. Now both of them will execute. Everything else is set to execute up above. Then looking further down, we have this bug detail page. It's set up correctly. It's going to populate the bug ID and process. It's going to have a 5-second delay. Response assertion is good. It's been good. We haven't had any problem with that. Now with the login, we're not going to use the login original. I'm going to disable that one, and I'm going to enable login. And login has the username and password, but it has the correct values in the IP address and the path. So we have the Bugzilla host, and we're looking for this path that also has go ahead and log in equal 1, meaning yes, we want to log in. And it's doing a post as before. So this time it should pick up the login and password and populate the page. And of course, log in. Now, down here we have 2 bug detail pages in addition to the first one. I want to enable it and let you know what it's going to do. Is it's going to utilize Bug-in ID 2, and Bug-in ID 2 came from this randomizer. I changed the value. Not only did I change the match number to pick up the first occurrence of bug ID, it's populating a different variable. The other one was bug ID. This one is bug ID 2. Okay? And so this bug detail is designed, and I labeled it first bug. So it's going to pick up the first bug. Then there's another one, going to enable it, and I labeled it my bug. So it's going to pick up a bug that I found that particular bug ID, 65002, and I'm hard coding it into this URL. So we are going to see 3 bug detail pages, each one having a different bug on it. Let's go ahead and we're ready to run. I'm going to do a quick save. I believe we have everything in order. Let's run this. And we are expecting to see the login process to be successful. There it is. And we only have it after the first bug detail, so we should see 2 back-to-back bug detail pages. And we do. Everything went fine. We're starting with the second iteration or loop. Momentarily, we'll be ready to review our output, and we'll be done with this particular lesson and lab. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're done. We see that the 2 stop icon buttons are not visible anymore. That's an indication we have completed. Okay, now let's start with the debug sampler. We see the values. Everything is set accordingly. Doesn't hurt to double check ourselves. Make sure all of these are showing the right information. Then we go to the home page. We see that it has definitely checked this title status. Everything's good there. Same thing with changes. Everything's good there. And Debug Sampler should be showing us now that it has discovered 65028, which is the first bug ID, which we mentioned before, and this one must be based on the random. So bug ID 2 is the first bug, and bug ID is the random bug, 64963. Let's move further. So here's the bug detail page, the first one, which is the random bug, and there it is, 64963. It has located that one. The title of it is blank comment, tooltip is visible. Okay, then log in. We logged in. We see that it's at the login to Apache NetBeans Bugzilla. That's the title page. We're good there. Bug detail page, first bug, still 65028, and it reads client.rmi local port is not documented properly. And then the my bug, it's a HTTP test script recorder creates an invalid basic authentication URL. So that's the problem I was talking about earlier, that it caused us to have to make corrections to the login or HTTP request for login in this particular script. And the debug sampler still shows us the 65028 and 6493. And what else? If we look at this one, will be the randomizer. It's now 65029. JMeter do wrong with code base in applet. So the randomizer, of course, was designed to show a different one each time we run it. So this is the second iteration. And if we look at the first bug, it's still 65028. And we're still hard-coded 65002. So we have been able to successfully go through 2 iterations of the testing going against the JMeter site as well as the Bugzilla site successfully. My time has ended for this session. I thank you for yours. Join me in the next video.